Hello, welcome to class 11 of the Archicad 23 online course. Here we start section 3 and we will proceed with structural lessons in this class. Open the file, Orlando House class 11 start. Opening this file, you will have the ready structure, the most elements we modeled on last classes and others I added in this file. I finished the swimming pools and this part of the structure that we'll finish later. So basically in this class, I'm going to teach how to design structures in 4 different ways from the conventional way we have learned using tools such as columns, beams, slabs, and walls. The 4 ways are the following: using Archicad library, importing standard steel profile, complex profile, structure of variable sections. Starting by Archicad library, go to Object Tool, it's this chair icon. You can do a double click to enter on Settings dialog. Inside here you see the Archicad library. We have linked libraries. Archicad library 23, and the entire library will be explored in other classes. Now we're gonna see the 1.4 folder, building structures. So here we have some structural elements that may be applied on the project. The first one is cladding, a metal sheet used to do steel deck slabs. You can choose several profiles, and all dimensions are changeable. It's a parametric object. You could change thickness, angle, and you can do a sloped element, chamfered, 2D representation, and so on. In this window, always we have the object in floor plan, in elevation, in 3D, the icon image, and information. Proceeding on library, we can see here there are concrete structures. In this folder, we have precast beams in different profiles. In columns, precast column and precast haunched column. This pillar is a very interesting object. I will insert in 3D to show. Selecting it, you get adjusting even on 3D these support heights. Clicking on pink point. Here we have this option Move Node, so you can elevate as you want, or even type a value, specific value, in this object. And we have the option in Settings dialog to add more haunches on the other sides. So here we have, and it will be created, and I can set the height manually, clicking on pink points and typing some value if you want. I will delete. Proceeding on library, you can see foundation, precast concrete slab, where you can do a solid flat or some hollow core types. We have moldings, roof construction. I can change the display mode for libraries, large icons, medium icons, or list. I prefer to use medium icons. So after we have steel structures, curved beams, light steel beams and columns, space frames. This space frame specifically is a very cool object. You can write the number of cells here, the bar dimensions. So let's see in 3D. Coming back to library, we also have steel beams and columns in other profiles, steel frames in portico, steel joists. Here we have historical columns to do historical buildings, curved ramp and straight ramp, vaults, wall extras, and wood trusses to create a roof structure. Okay, so this is the way of doing structures with Archicad library. An important thing is, after inserting the object, like this ramp, is to set the element on structure layer. So here you have the Arc4 structure. And on classification and properties, you could set the element in structure function as a load-bearing element. Okay, the second method is importing a standard steel profile. Go to Options, Complex Profiles, Import Standard Steel Profile. There are patterns from several countries. Here I choose Brazilian industry. There are many shapes, different profiles, using rectangular hollow, for example. You can see the dimensions indicated in the figure as G1, G2, G3, and here in the list, the dimensions for each one. So I can choose one and click in Add Profile to the project. The file is added to be imported. I choose one more profile. Add profile to the project and click Import. From now on, these profiles will be available to be used with Column tool and Beam tool. So entering on Settings dialog in Column tool, here in Segment, you can choose a complex profile. And here on the list, I see the imported profiles. Select one. I could override the surface as I want. Put up yellow paint. Okay. I can insert the column. Using this profile, I can edit the element freely. So I can edit the stretch height, slanting. So here we have all the options available. Here I can put it as a vertical column, and then stretch height, slant, so there are many options for these objects. And as I said, I can use it with Beam tool in Segment, Complex Profile, I choose in the list, and then I can design the beam. Therefore, this is how you can work with standard profiles. Now, let's work with the third method, complex profile. We're gonna use the complex profile in the house in this concrete structure here, above the kitchen and the wet bar. I need to do a chamfered structure, and basically I need to design the same shape that I have on vertical, but now on horizontal. To make it, I'm gonna use the Beam tool, but before I will design a specific profile. Click in Options, Element Attributes, Profile Manager. Click New, I will type Beam 1. Inside here, draw a horizontal line here from the origin point, 1 meter, on vertical 80 centimeters, centimeters, and complete the connection in 45 degrees. It's a hollow element, so I will copy this line, Control Shift D, 20 centimeters. Here, 10 centimeters, I have a perpendicular snap guide. And here, 10 centimeters. Now I can use, selecting the lines, the option intersect. Selecting the lines I have here, intersect. Or even I can use the trim command, pressing the Control key, a scissor appear, and I can click to cut. Now I may use Fill Tool, press spacebar to use magic wand, click, the space is filled. I change the building material to reinforced concrete structural. To make it as a hollow structure, I need to select the fill, click on Fill Tool to activate the command, press spacebar to use magic wand, click, and it's done. This fill is the element to be extruded, and I will mark to use with bin. Here on Override Surface, I will mark to use concrete light, and show cut end lines as a black pen, 101. I'll click to save, close the window, and go to first floor. Now here I am on worksheets, the first floor on stories, and put as reference the first floor in DWG. So now I can design, select the bin tool. In settings I choose complex profile, and I select the profile that I created, bin 1. Here I will turn off override surfaces, and I'll press OK. I paid no attention to the level, but I can adjust on 3D. I'll click to design the bin. Now going to 3D, you see the element above. I will select, I will drag Ctrl D, and using a reference point from the existing bin, I can set the element. And here at the edge, we're gonna do a closure. We have this hollow profile, and now we need to close the structure. So go to options. Here I can override the surface too, and put as concrete light. And now go into options, element attributes, profile manager. I will select bin 1. And we're gonna do a new profile based on this. So click on duplicate. I will type bin 2. Click edit. I will erase the fill and internal lines. Using Fill Tool again, I'll press space bar, click, change again to reinforced concrete. I can override the surface to use concrete light, cut end lines 101, and I will save this object. Now in floor plan, I drag a copy of this element, Ctrl-Shift-D. Click on Node to use Strat. I can adjust the element. And now I change this copy for bin 2. And on 3D, you can see the result. Now, on the other side, this set is grouped. I will activate suspend groups. And now I can strat hide only in this wall. So I will click here. I have the option is strat hide. So now you can see the connection is made in a perfect way. Going to floor plan, I will copy these elements, Ctrl-Shift-D, Ctrl-Shift-M to mirror a copy. I'm going to use this middle point as a reference, and you can check on 3D. I need to correct the connection here, strat hide. And okay, now the structure is done, and the fourth method is the structure of variable sections. It's a new function on Archicad 23, so let's explore it. Going to column 2, here in settings dialog, I choose a basic structure here, rectangular, 50 by 50 centimeters, surface concrete light, and column height will be a not linked element, 4 meters high. I put a vertical column. I insert the column on ground floor. And now I'm going to do a bin. And in my example, I will create a precast concrete structure. So go to Options, Element Attributes, Profile Manager. I'll click New and type Precast Bin 1. Okay, using line 2, a sequence of lines, I design here 50, 20 centimeters on vertical, 10, 70, 30 centimeters. Now I have a reference here. I'll click, another point here, and finalize the polygon. Now I will put this element in the middle of the origin point, because this point defines the axis on modeling. Use Fill Tool again. I change to Reinforced Concrete. Use with Bin. Save. I can close the window, and here on 2D, I'm going to use the bin tool, segment. I will select the precast bin 1, override surfaces. I'll put light gray, just to have a contrast between them. So here I have paint, light gray. Okay, I'll draw the bin, and on 3D I can make an adjustment. And now I'm gonna show how to do variable sections even on 3D window. Select the column and you see this blue line on axis. Clicking on it, you can see the floating palette. We have this option split segment. And now click at the bottom part of the bin, the bottom part of this T profile, and after clicking again on the reference line, split segment, at the bottom part of the bin. And I'll click again to do another segment, and I'll type a distance here. So 30 centimeters. And here on info box, in cross-section size, I'll change here to tapered size. And also unlock these dimensions to edit freely. So here on 3D, you see this edit command. I click edit, and now inside here, I am on editing mode of this column tool. And inside this edit mode, you can select a segment separately. And clicking on node, we have this option in floating palette. Straight cross-section width symmetrically. And I'll type 90 centimeters. Selecting the section below, you can click on node. I'm going to use the same command, but now I'll change here to a variable section. It's not accepting. I need to turn off this option. Now it is unlocked and I can do. And so you see the changing only on the upper surface, and we have our column done. Inside the edit mode, you see the column in highlight and the rest of the model in light gray. Here you can close, I'll close the trace and reference window, and here you can close the environment to see only the element you are editing. And I'll click here to exit edit mode. Doing now the bin editing, select the bin, clicking on the blue reference line, we have split segment again. Use the support of the column to click. After that, I'll click again on reference line, split segment, and I'll type 30 centimeters to do another section. And to make the variation on bin section, first we have a part that is upon the support, but it is modeled entering into the column. So in this situation, we need to add modifiers to profile. Go to Options, Element Attributes, Profile Manager, select the Precast bin 1, I'll click Edit, and here on Modifiers tab, I'm going to do a new modifier. I'll type 1, and clicking into this line below, dimension is displayed, and I'll catch this point. Another click, and therefore this profile can be moved inside this gap. I'll save, close the window, select the bin, edit, and selecting the first section, this blue line appears. Clicking on it, using the option Offset Edge, I can elevate this profile. Here in this section, I need more modifiers to do what I want. So I will exit edit mode, go to options, element attributes, profile manager. Editing again the precast bin 1. You can erase the modifier 1, and I will create new modifiers. Click modifier, I will type 1, select this bottom line, dimension until down 70 centimeters, new modifier 2, I'll click on the other side, here the same thing, 70 centimeters, new modifier 3, select the left line, and now 10 centimeters, new modifier 4, right line, 10 centimeters again. I'll save. Message appears saying that the element will be modified. I'll click OK. We can close the window. And here, entering on edit mode again, I'll select this section and clicking on this horizontal line using the offset edge, I'll type here 75 centimeters. So it goes up. I do the same on the other side. And now, selecting here this cross section, I can do the same, but now I'll change here to tapered size. And clicking on blue line, you can do this, you can elevate this element, making a slope on bin. I do the same on the other side. And so you can see that it is a versatile element, a great enhancement on Archicad 23 to do structures of variable sections. Okay, this was the class about different methods to create structures. Hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, bye bye.